Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're peeling back that shiny, neon-lit Hollywood facade to uncover a reality that is quite literally hidden in plain sight. You know, when most of us think of the United States, our minds immediately go to the ultimate symbols of wealth, right? Towering skyscrapers in New York, the glitz of Los Angeles, the whole promise of the American dream. But right behind that blinding light is a shadow so profound it's almost completely hidden from the rest of the world. We are going to take a hard look at a parallel world that exists within the borders of the world's richest nation, a world that, honestly, resembles a developing country far more than a global superpower. We're constantly sold this specific idealized vision of the American dream, the luxury cars, the massive mansions, the Hollywood glamour. But running directly parallel to that, sometimes literally on the exact same street, is a reality for hundreds of thousands of people that looks completely different. In major cities, we aren't just talking about a few isolated struggles here and there. We're looking at sprawling, permanent tent cities. These are areas completely devoid of basic utilities. It's a daily struggle for survival that completely shatters that illusion of endless American prosperity.
Let's start our descent at street level. Take Skid Row, for example. Now, Skid Row isn't just some forgotten back alley. It is a sprawling, 50-plus block area right in the heart of downtown Los Angeles. Thousands of people live in tents pitched directly on the sidewalks, completely lacking electricity, running water, or any real security. The conditions are honestly unimaginable. Mountains of trash, open drug use, and perhaps the most heartbreaking detail from the source data we reviewed is that a huge portion of these residents are struggling with severe mental illness. Many were simply discharged and left on the streets by hospitals that literally ran out of space.
So how do cities handle this? Well, frequently, the response isn't about finding a permanent solution. Instead, cities rely on what are known as sweeps. This is where police and bulldozers roll in to clear out the encampments. And in the process, they often scoop up whatever meager possessions these people have left. We're talking vital, life-saving medications, irreplaceable ID documents, basic clothing, just thrown straight into the trash. But here's the glaring flaw. Tearing down a tent doesn't solve homelessness. Because the root cause is completely ignored, these individuals literally have nowhere else to go, so the encampments inevitably just return to the exact same spots a few days later.
Now, this is where things get truly unexpected, because the most shocking face of poverty in America challenges our basic assumptions about who exactly is homeless. When we hear that word, our brains usually default to a stereotype, right? Someone who is entirely unemployed or maybe unwilling to work. But the reality uncovers this massive systemic paradox: the working homeless. We are talking about millions of people who wake up every single morning, get dressed, go to work, and then return to their car to sleep at night. This completely debunks the myth of the lazy homeless person. These are full-time workers, waiters, security guards, retail workers, Amazon warehouse staff. Perhaps the most jarring example we found in the research is Disneyland. Think about that for a second. You have employees spending 8 to 10 hours a day creating this magical, unforgettable experience for families, only to clock out, walk back to a parking lot, and sleep in their car. It's a stunning reality check. And if we break down the numbers, you'll see the impossible math they're facing. It's a complete systemic failure, where working a full 40-hour week simply cannot buy you a roof over your head. Let's look at California. An average low-wage worker might bring home around $2,000 a month, but the cost of a basic, entry-level one-bedroom apartment, that skyrocketed to $2,500. This isn't about budgeting poorly or, buying too many lattes. The math literally does not work. When your total income is less than the baseline cost of shelter, you're forced into an impossible choice. Do you buy food or do you pay rent? For so many, the only real option is living out of a vehicle. Imagine their daily reality. It is an incredibly grueling cycle. After surviving a physically demanding 8 to 10-hour shift, their work isn't actually over. Next, they drive to a local gym. And no, it's not to work out. It's strictly to use the showers so they can maintain basic hygiene and look presentable for work the next day. Then comes the anxiety of hunting for a safe, well-lit parking lot to sleep in, all while desperately hoping to remain invisible to police who might ticket them. It is a daily cycle of just pure exhaustion.
So we've looked at the streets of LA and the parking lots of California's working class. But our descent now takes us completely underground, literally beneath the billion-dollar casinos of the world's entertainment capital. Vegas is famous for its excess. Billions of dollars flow freely through those luxury resorts. But hidden directly beneath the feet of wealthy tourists is a completely different universe.
Hundreds of people live in the city's massive underground drainage system. They're often referred to as the mole people. Down there, totally devoid of sunlight and fresh air, people build tiny, makeshift rooms out of discarded furniture, old mattresses, whatever garbage they can find. They are living right alongside rats and toxic runoff.
And a lot of these individuals are tragic casualties of the city right above them. People who gambled away their life savings or fell victim to severe addiction, and they found refuge in the pitch black simply because society above them has completely discarded them.
Now here's a detail that is just mind-boggling. It is deeply ironic that in a desert city like Las Vegas, the biggest threat to this underground community isn't the dark, and it's not the heat. It's water. Because they are living in active storm drains, a sudden burst of rain above ground turns into a deadly flash flood below. Within minutes, these tunnels can fill with violent, rushing water. Tragically, people are often caught while they're sleeping, and they lose their makeshift homes, their belongings, and sometimes their lives, just swept away in the dark.
This quote right here captures the ultimate heartbreaking juxtaposition of this entire explainer. The darkest aspect of unchecked wealth is sitting literally on top of absolute desperation. You have tourists upstairs, bathed in neon light, casually dropping millions of dollars at a poker table in a single evening. And separated by only a few feet of concrete, directly beneath those plush casino floors, human beings are navigating total darkness, scavenging through trash just to find enough food to survive one more day.
So, what does this all mean? We've seen the sprawling tents of Skid Row, the exhausted faces of the working homeless who pack our boxes and serve our food, and those forgotten communities living beneath the glittering casinos. These aren't just isolated bad luck stories. They are structural cracks in a massive system. So I want to leave you with this challenge. Think about the true price of the prosperity we so often celebrate. Is a dream truly successful if its foundation rests on such hidden despair? Keep questioning, keep learning, and thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.